Welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. It's been some time. Today we're gonna model something. It's gonna be Houdini again. Not simply for being fast tomorrow or having a model for tomorrow that I can render then, but also because one of the reasons why I started a podcast in 2018, I guess, maybe 19, I don't even know, is practicing English and being able to speak better English. And I think I've also been able to do so, and I've been able to really learn quite a lot throughout the years, especially also because of the reading that I did, and definitely also because of the talking. But I think a really big deal was the reading, going through so many book summaries, going through so many articles, going through this, that, and the other thing. But I do really want to cultivate that again. I do really want to do that again. So maybe today is going to be 50-50. I'm trying to be as fast as I fucking possibly can be with some model that somewhat looks good. And then I'd like to maybe read 1 or 2 paragraphs or something, maybe by Seth Godin or whatever, because I think it is useful. And I've been always been trying to set up certain systems and certain things that generate a lot of value for me too. So of course with the podcast I might be showing certain things that you cannot find somewhere else online, or at least not as fast. But on the other hand, I'm also practicing my things, and of course also all the dailies, all the modeling, this is also practice. I mean, I'm trying to do things and then whatever. What was really bothering me in the beginning was the microphone kind of not working on one port, on one USB port, but working on the other one. And I really do hope that this is not something that's gonna last forever, because then I'd have to send my wonderful computer in and kind of get that fixed, because this should not really be the case. Period. What I do want to do today is maybe actually using audio. I don't know if this is too much. It might actually be too much. Is there something like random attribute randomizer? Let's random selection. What does that do? Points, element points. I do just actually wanna be able to create some random values. I may actually be able to do that in here too. So we are gonna do a pop wind. Having this pop wind there, having a bit of an amplitude, and let's see what this does. And also increasing the swirl size, therefore I think, so that it is just somehow smooth, I would say. I would say we can also adjust the birth rate to something like 20, because in the end we're going to use a trail anyways. That's going to add just a lot of points anyways. We can use that too, so that's a bit nicer on the hardware, you know. I think for the amplitude, can't I also use random there? What do you do? Rend? Can't I do that? I would like to do that. Okay, I can indeed do returns a pseudo-random number from 0 to 1. This is not a good idea to use non-integer values at the argument, blah, 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 blah. Using the same value always gives the same results. To vary the result, base the value on a changing number, usually the current frame. Okay, so rand, and then I do a $sign apparently, and an F, and then closing that thing should apparently do something. And yes, it actually does something. Problem is, I would still like to be able to... Can I? Yes, I can. when you randomize a component value, such as X, Y, and Z, change the value for each component so they don't all get the same number. Well, I do not really care about that. A pseudo-random number from 0 to 1. And I think in this case, I would like to actually be able to change that. But I guess another option would just to be that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's cool, maybe it is not. Let's see. See when we're doing this. Yeah, this might actually be something. The roughness should also be random. The turbulence should also be random. Let's see what we're getting here. Yes, that's good. I don't know what I did there, but should be fine. What did I actually want to do today? It's actually kind of what I wanted to do today. Let's see if there's something quite quickly in the pop thing that might actually kind of be useful or cool to use. May actually not be the case. We can use the flock. Flock is quite often quite the cool thing. And yes, it is flocking. Great. We can, the number of centers. I don't know if this makes sense then. I think it doesn't. I think it really doesn't. So number of centers is just going to be 3 for whatever reason, and the central attraction, this might be randomized per frame. So we're having 3 things bouncing around on whatever. We might actually also randomize those to see what this does. Yes, it is something. We might actually do this to, like, I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. I guess how many frames it is, but we could definitely also increase the velocity like this and see what this does. This might turn out quite okay. I mean, we can also do all of them, or we maybe do -1 there and there is 0 and see what is happening then. Okay. Nothing too interesting, to be honest. We might actually also do a pop-up there and add some noise individually, but I think... Can I do some noise there too? Noise field. Can I just plug that in there? No, I can't. I thought so. Anyways, let's see. We're adding a trail. This trail should have quite a long length of something like this, but I do not really want to have this. So let's do that. We might actually increase the size of this cube there to 10 or something. I don't know. Instead we're having a bit of a bigger thing that is happening. Might actually be too big, so we might do just 2 because of reasons. And there we're getting some sort of a pattern there. I'm not saying it is beautiful, not saying it is great, not saying anything. But it is something. It does something, it creates something, and whatever. The flocking may have actually been the wrong thing to use there, because... Can we do -random? This would be interesting, because I do want to expand it a bit, or let it expand a bit. And I'm not just, willing to have it like just one pile of something. This is maybe also the problem that I'm having here. So we may indeed use this and a solver. It's the subsolver. Then do we actually see something? Yes. Good. I'm happy. And we curl noise. We add a curl noise like this, and let's already see what this does. It is creating some change. We are gonna normalize that maybe, and let's see what this alone would do. Not too much. Cool. We are gonna multiply. I think it was. I hope I'm getting that right. This thing and that thing, and putting that into here. And this should create something that's a bit more of a thing, you know, not too random, and also trying to have those particles not move in the same direction, because then in the end it's just going to be one pile of something. But I do want to have a bit of a room and a bit of a volume then, ideally. Period. So what we might do there as well is having the amplitude like randomized. I mean, I think in the it's just some hair, but I mean it's not too bad, but it's just definitely also not interesting. So we might, what could be a good idea here? What could be a good idea here? Let's see what the Mandelbrot might do. Having this and that, and you know, maybe this is creating something. Well, I don't really know. I do not really know. Don't think it's too cool. This might also have to be normalized. Let's see what this does. Okay. I mean it is something. But it's just also just something, you know? Let's get back into here. What could we do? So Mandelbrot definitely was not the best choice, and I do also not really... But I mean, it kind of looks like there's something changing here. Yeah, I take that. I really do. I don't know what is happening there. I think we have normalized them both and also plugged in like the normal P for whatever reason. This is randomized. This is also randomized. This is also randomized. Between 0 and 1 step size. Surface normal, blah, 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 blah. Frequency, offset. I think that this should be fine. Okay, cool. I mean, this looks random. It has something. It really does have something. And I mean, I do want to say that in the end, it does really do matter the amount of frames that we're having, since we're having a trail in the end or in the script, and therefore it does create something. So VDB from, I think we're going to use a particle there, just to see what it looks like, and I guess it's already quite yeah, that's definitely not fine. 0.5, I guess, and this should also be smaller. We may actually not use 5,000. Yeah, that's the dumb thing. We might do like 500 there, because I think in the end it would be way too many points to calculate there. We might actually also use the fluid, because the fluid tends to be a bit faster, as I have seen and or figured out. We may actually, what if I'm doing a skin here? skin. Ah, okay, cool. Great. Rows, columns. What if we are at pieces? Actions pieces. Blee blah bloop. And this is gonna be set to points. Does this do something? It apparently does something. And I'm wondering what it does, and or if it is great. Because I think what the skin normally is doing is creating a skin, which would have been actually incredibly important for me before I figured that out. Because I guess that in the end, when you're having like just multiple things intersecting, it's gonna have one layer around it. But this is way too slow for me today. Please don't crash. I mean, if it crashes, it's also fine. Still. Yeah. No wonder. Max points, it's gonna be 5 or something, which is enough. We might actually do 2 and see if there is some skin emerging from that. Yes. It's doing something. It was previously set to this. I mean, this was off indeed. Does this change something? No, it doesn't. Group of n primitives and whatever, blah, blah, blah. We might blur, attribute blurred it, to see what is happening. To just see nothing happening. VDB from polygons might help there. And seeing where this leads, it might be 0.5, just a tiny bit more resolution. And then we are gonna convert this thing. We're gonna actually duplicate that for this one too. And I want it to be a polygon soup. And this is definitely not a polygon soup. I mean, I could also create a fork out of that, but why aren't you creating? Oh, that was weird. Was it the other one? It was the other one apparently. So we can also just, you know, not have a fork there. And since we are now having like one geometry apparently, we may be able to do this. And yes, we're able to do that. Maybe just a tiny bit less or something in between. Just something in between. I do wonder though, can I section? Cross-section surface. Can I do that? I would like to see inside of it. Clip. Okay, clip. Let's clip through that. Distance. Origin. 0, 0. Direction. Origin. 5 maybe? I don't know. -1. Okay. Okay, it's just gone apparently. Okay, cool. Amazing. Let's have a look at 0.5 there. I just want it to be a tiny bit smaller. 0.1 should also work there. And since we have converted it, we are also able to use the attribute blur and see what this does. And this already looks way, way better than the other thing. So thanks, Kim. But I do also want to see what the skin would do there. Just out of curiosity, if this is useful. It does nothing. All primitives. Group all n primitives. Okay. Skip. Keep primitives. Output polygons. Preserve shape. Well, cool. Anyway. So we're having this thing, and I don't know if it is useful to, yeah, I think it is actually better like this. What we might do is just letting it be like this. Maybe, probably, yeah, I think. The only problem that I'm having is that it is a tiny bit too, like, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, that it is just something. But this is what I actually like about that, you know, that it is a mass. So we may actually merge those two. But before, I'm definitely gonna do this. Yeah, I don't know. I really do not know. Are there some parameters that I can change about this kin there? I may actually also get rid of this, have a look at this, and realize, okay, you know, it's something, you know, and therefore I'm just gonna take this thing, and we're gonna connect them, having a look through it. Okay, great, amazing, and then we're gonna have a polypipe. We might actually do a. Can I use a poly bridge there too? Is there something happening then? Straight. Question is above there? No, I really don't want to have that. Is above there something happening? Straight divisions, something curved. You can do whatever, just do something. Isn't there like a patch too? Planar patch? Poly patch. Poly patch. I want to have a look at the poly patch. Yeah, well, apparently does nothing. Poly pipe. Is it a pipe? Is it poly wire? And we're looking through it and we're seeing, oh, cool, it is something. And apparently it is also a tiny bit more connected. We're gonna turn down the divisions because I don't want anything to break here. I want to have a look at this thing and increase the search radius and also this to like 5. Apparently it is the case that pipes are really really a lot to calculate. This is also why it is useful to have smaller divisions. Blur. No, this was the wrong one. Can I actually blur that? I don't even know, but apparently I can. I mean, this already looks really, really cool. And there are some connections. I mean, of course, I'd like this and that and whatever to be fully connected. Some things are just something. I don't know what this should be. But this really has something. I don't really understand how it is possible that we're having like... Because I think I'm having nothing activated besides that. That we're still seeing like the thing underneath it. Like so that the previous geometry, so to speak. But I really like that. I really, really do like that. What might be possible is increasing the size there, or just when I'm converting that. Definitely, by the way, having quite some adaptation because things don't have to look too smooth. But I mean, what if I'm doing that? You can see things connecting a bit more. What if we are doing that? I've clicked the wrong one. But this may actually look similarly nice. And be one geometry, yeah. I mean, yeah, similarly nice. It's definitely not as nice. But it is quite similar, especially with these pieces. I really like it, and I have really often also used it before. I may just, keep it like this. What we might do though is... Oh, I can't even do that. Filling in like the inside of it. I think, well, I don't know. It is really hard to decide. Let's see what 0.5 is. Because I do like the aesthetics of the previous one definitely more, but in terms of one geometry of one thing, it works. I mean, it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. What about 2? It's probably gonna be 5, I guess. But it has something. I mean, I do not even know what 0 looks like at this point. Might have actually worked too, but I've just, not realized it. Let's see. Let's do... I mean, it looks better, but let's see what 0.1 looks like. Might actually be the thing to go to. Oh, 0.01, I mean. 0.1 is a bit too big, or a bit too much. I mean, for me it is enough. I do just hope that with the ROG output, we're gonna output all of that. By the way, I don't really know what the blur does, but it kind of does magic from time to time. Is there... No. We are gonna export it to my desktop, and we're gonna call it cool space ship biological .obj. Don't forget the extension or suffix, I guess. Yes, suffix. And let's press the save to disk button, and the longer it takes, the bigger the thing is. But I guess it is okay. I mean, of course, there are quite some, and also when it crashes, it's also quite a big thing. The thing is, there are certain faces there, as I'm just, looking at it, that, might give you some headaches, might be quite a shitty thing. Because, they're flipped and then whatever, and of course you can maybe use the polydoc to fix that. Let's have a look. Whether the geometry is fine or how big it is, and it is 300 megabytes, which is kind of fine. I mean, for the amount of detail that we're having here with these things and then whatever, and it looks cool and I like it and whatever. But yeah, I might actually not even show you, but we're gonna go to Seth's blog. I do also just realize that, you might be able to see me now, but when I'm having this tab open, yeah, you can see me somewhat. I'm gonna give you a read. Unfettered. That is unlikely. You are rarely going to get the freedom and resources to do your best work unfettered. The hard part and the opportunity is to figure out how to get comfortable with fettered. I don't even know what this means. Because fettered is what's on offer. Boundaries and scarcity aren't simply impediments, they are leverage points and opportunities. And the other one, real and apparent risk. Roller coasters are one of the safest ways to travel. They end up where they begin, but that is a different story. People pay to ride on them because they feel risky, even if they're not. air travel is really safe, and the airlines work over time to reduce the perception of risk as well. And that is why turbulence is so jarring. It is not actually risky, but it breaks the facade. On the other hand, we regularly engage in activities and behavior that are risky without perceiving the risk. The cigarette companies worked hard to make smoking feel macho, sophisticated, and part of the crowd at the same time that they seduced people into feeling like they weren't taking a risk with their health. The most resilient path in most activities is to offer perceived risk to people who see risk, while also creating resilient systems that aren't actually risky. Because dancing with perceived risk creates growth, connection, and emotional resonance, whereas actual risk leads to outcomes we do not want. And with that being said, I'm going to end the episode here. See you.